The difference between your cooking and a restaurant's isn't talent. It's about 20 secrets nobody ever taught you. Why does your steak come out grey instead of brown? Why does restaurant pasta cling to the sauce while yours just sits in a puddle? And what is the one hidden ingredient behind almost every savory dish you crave? These aren't gimmicks, they're the fundamentals every professional kitchen runs on. Control 4 things: your heat, your salt, your moisture, and your time, and everything changes. Master these 20, and your food will taste like it came off a restaurant pass, not a home stove. Number 20. Don't crowd the pan. Watch a home cook make this mistake every single time. They pile everything into one pan at once, and it steams into a sad, grey, watery pile. Crowd a pan, and the temperature crashes, so the food sweats instead of searing. Give each piece room, cook in batches, and everything turns golden. Space is a flavour. Number 19. Pat it dry. Your steak comes out grey, not brown, and here is exactly why. A wet surface can't brown, it can only steam. Chefs pat every piece of meat and fish bone dry with a paper towel before it ever touches the pan. Dry surface, screaming hot pan, and you finally get that deep, crusted, restaurant brown sear. Number 18. Rest the meat. Cut into a steak the second it leaves the heat, and you'll watch all the juice run out onto the board. That's your dinner, bleeding away. Let meat rest, even just 5 minutes, and the juices settle back into the fibers. Slice it then, and every single bite stays juicy. Number 17. Room temperature meat. Throw a fridge-cold steak into a hot pan, and the outside overcooks while the middle is still cold, leaving that grey ring around a pink center. Pros pull their meat out about 30 minutes early and let it come up to room temperature. Then it cooks evenly, edge to edge, every time. Number 16. Sharpen your knife. A dull knife is the most dangerous tool in your kitchen. It slips, it crushes instead of slicing, and it makes every task slower. Chefs hone their blade before every service. A sharp knife glides, it keeps your food intact, and honestly, it makes the whole act of cooking feel effortless. Number 15. Mise en place. Ever notice how a chef never scrambles? That's mise en place, everything in its place. Before the heat ever goes on, every ingredient is chopped, measured, and lined up in little bowls. Cooking moves fast once the pan is hot, and there's no time to dice an onion mid-sear. Prep it all first, then cook. Number 14. Season with acid. You keep adding salt and the dish still tastes flat, so what's actually missing? 9 times out of 10, it's acid. A squeeze of lemon or a splash of vinegar right at the end lifts everything and makes the flavors pop. Chefs reach for acid as often as they reach for salt. So next time it tastes dull, brighten it, don't just salt it. Number 13. Bloom your spices. Dumping ground spices straight into a stew tastes muddy and dusty. Restaurants bloom them first, toasting the spices in hot oil or a dry pan for about 30 seconds until they turn fragrant. The heat unlocks their aromatic oils, so the flavor goes deep into the dish instead of just sitting on top of it. Number 12. Deglaze the pan. See those sticky browned bits stuck to the bottom of the pan after searing? Most people scrub them away. Chefs call that the fond, and it is pure concentrated flavor. Pour in a splash of wine or stock, scrape it up as it bubbles, and in 60 seconds you've built a restaurant pan sauce from what you almost washed down the drain. Number 11. Baste with butter. Here is what happens in the last minute of cooking a steak at a steakhouse. The chef drops in butter, garlic and thyme, tilts the pan, and spoons that foaming golden butter over the top, again and again. It bastes the meat in flavor and finishes the color. This one move alone makes a home steak taste like a restaurant's. Number 10. Shock your greens. Your green beans and broccoli keep turning out drab, olive green and limp. The fix is an ice bath. Boil them briefly, then plunge them straight into ice water. It stops the cooking instantly and locks in that vivid, bright green and a crisp bite. It's the whole reason restaurant vegetables look alive on the plate. Number 9. Store herbs like flowers. You buy fresh herbs, they wilt into black slime in 3 days, and you throw them out. Restaurants treat them like flowers, trim the stems, and stand them in a glass of water on the counter. They'll stay fresh for weeks. And here's the rule that surprises everyone. Never refrigerate basil or tomatoes. The cold destroys their flavor and texture. Number 8. Roll your citrus. You cut a lemon, squeeze with all your might, and get a sad little trickle. 2 seconds of prep fixes it. Roll the lemon hard under your palm on the counter first, or microwave it for 10 seconds, and it will give up nearly double the juice. Same lemon, twice the payoff. Number 7. Use a thermometer. Stop poking your chicken and praying. The reason chefs nail doneness every single time isn't some magic touch, it's an instant read thermometer. Chicken at 165, a medium steak at 135. No guessing, no cutting it open, no dry, overcooked dinner. It is the cheapest upgrade you can make to your cooking. Number 6. Taste as you go. Watch any professional and you'll see them tasting constantly, a spoon going in and out of the pot the whole time. Home cooks season once, at the very end, and just hope. Chefs season in layers and taste at every stage, adjusting as they go. Your tongue is the only instrument that actually matters. Use it the whole way through. Number 5. Dry brine ahead. Salting right before cooking only seasons the surface. The pro move is a dry brine. Salt your meat, uncovered, hours ahead, even the night before. The salt draws moisture in, seasons the meat all the way through, and dries the surface so it browns better. It is the single biggest upgrade to a roast chicken or a thick steak. Number 4. Finished pasta in the sauce. Your pasta ends up sitting in a watery puddle of sauce because the order is wrong. First, salt the water until it genuinely tastes like the sea. Then, instead of draining and drowning the noodles, pull them straight into the pan with the sauce and a splash of that cloudy, starchy pasta water. Toss it hard and the sauce turns glossy and clings to every strand. Number 3. Mount with cold butter. Ever wonder why a restaurant sauce is glossy and rich while yours turns out thin and watery? The trick has a name, monter au beurre. Off the heat, at the very end, you whisk a knob of cold butter into the sauce. It emulsifies into a silky, shining finish with real body and a luxurious mouthfeel. 1 cold cube and you've got a restaurant sauce. Number 2. Velvet cheap meat. This is how a cheap cut of beef becomes the silky, tender stir-fry meat you get at a Chinese restaurant. It's called velveting. Toss thin sliced beef with a little baking soda, wait about 20 minutes, then rinse it off. The baking soda changes the surface of the meat so it stays impossibly tender and never turns tough, no matter how hot the wok gets. Number 1. The secret ingredient. And the biggest secret of all, that savory depth you taste in restaurant food and can never quite recreate at home. It has a name, umami. It's glutamate, and chefs add it constantly, either as a pinch of MSG, which is completely safe, or hidden inside parmesan rinds, fish sauce, soy sauce, and mushroom powder. That craveable Moorish quality was never talent. It was umami all along. So there they are. The dry pan that finally browns, the pasta that clings, the cheap steak that eats like a ribeye. None of it was ever talent, it was technique, and technique is really just knowing where restaurants cut their corners and where they never do. Pick just 3 of these and use them tonight. Salt like you mean it, taste as you go, and finish with a little acid or a knob of cold butter. Do that, and the next time someone asks where you learned to cook like this, You won't quite have an answer, because now it's just how you cook.